What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. I got another one for you guys. This time it's not from Slap Ham, it's from Americano. And it says, these blasted ants are bugging me. I'm getting so sick and tired of red ants. It's not even funny. Anyways, it says 15 scary pictures that can't be explained. Okay, guys, you know I only bring the best of the best for you guys. I always bring the unexplained. That ant really bit me hard, man. Anyways, so we're just gonna jump right into it. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. Drop a comment down below if you want. If there's any video that you want me to react to, drop a comment down below and I will react to it. And please do me the biggest favor that you can do for me is to share my videos with your friends, with your family, with your grandparents, with your uncles, your aunts. Just share my videos, guys. Help me get my subscribers up. Help me get my likes up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let's get into this video, man. If you haven't already, go check Americano out. They have some good stuff. I'm just going to say this. This is a disclaimer. I do not own the rights to this video. I am using it through fair use so you guys can know what's happening in the world. Some of us are different parts of the world and we don't really know what's going on in other parts of the world. So this is the reason why I am bringing these reaction videos to you, so you can see stuff and so you can see my reaction to these things, man. Because some of these things, they're creepy, man. They're beyond creepy. I'm telling you. Alright, let's get into it.
A picture tells 1,000 words.
I will leave the original
rather than giving a wider
link
sense
down
of the
below
story,
for this
a picture
video.
can instead ask 1,000 questions. When unusual things are caught on camera that can't be explained, it's almost impossible to deny what you're seeing, but equally as difficult to make any sense of it. Here, we found some of the most baffling and troublesome of all, so let's take a look at 15 scary pictures that can't be explained. Before we begin,
Can you
make
guys
sure
see
to
me?
hit the like button,
I hope you
subscribe
guys
to
can
our
see me.
channel, and click the notification bell
Okay, I think this
for
is
more
better.
amazing videos every day. With that being said, let's begin.
Oh, look at the little alien.
Number 15. Ectoplasm Seance. This set of photographs comes from a book titled Phenomena of Materialization, which was written by a German doctor who specialized in psychic theories called Baron von Schrenck-Notzing. His research led him to observe a series of seances between 1909 and 1913 that were being performed by a French medium. And through a set of tests that he developed, he believed that her supposed abilities were genuine. The images show people that have apparently been possessed, and sessions where she contacted spirits, and would often involve sexual elements between the people that were present. One of the things she was renowned for was the presence of ectoplasm following a performance in a place where it wasn't before. And many took this as absolute proof that something supernatural had taken place. The work of this psychic has been widely discredited in the following years, as it took place during a time when countless frauds took advantage of unsuspecting patrons who were trying to contact loved ones. Some of what happened isn't so easily explained by simple parlor tricks, however, and there are many that believe some of the events shown in these images, especially when Photoshop wasn't available, were real. Do you believe that psychic mediums are able to contact spirits in another realm? And do these images convince you that these shows in the early 20th century were, in fact, legitimate? Time for the rear topic. This is an image that...
Okay. So, just like there's evil demons, angels, so forth, there are people who have psychic ability. What they choose to do with their psychic ability, however, is what determines what type of person they are. Using your ability to either get money or income or whatever the case may be, that's legit using it for the enemy. Okay? I mean, I can't really judge. I'm not gonna even judge that because I'm not God. But these seances and stuff that these people do, they don't know, they don't realize the depths in what they do when they mess with this stuff, especially people who use Ouija boards and different spirit calling things, crystals, drawing on the floors with candles and stuff like that. You do not know what you conjure up. You can very well conjure up demons and you don't know. So sometimes it's not feasible or wise to do these things, but back in these days it was very, very it was a way for people to get closure with their dead, with the dead, and stuff like that. So, but again, it's not
rounds recently,
for me to
and it's
judge.
one of the scariest pictures that we've ever seen. It shows a man standing in a room, and there appears to be the body of a zombie of a ghost sat on his shoulders. This might not be too out of the ordinary to see on Halloween as a costume, but this wasn't taken during a spooky festival. In fact, the man in the picture is said to have had no idea that anyone was sat on him while the image was taken, and it was only when his friend looked back at the picture that they saw this mysterious figure. But how is this possible? And who is the other person that's in the room with him? Was she a former resident of the apartment block, or possibly his guardian angel who keeps watch over him? There's no simple explanation for this, but what do you think?
Guardian angel? Oh, looks like that. No offense, but if my guardian angel looked anything like that, I don't want her or him or it anywhere near me. Okay? 'Cause that's creepy. But I do believe that there was a movie called, what was it called? Shutter? I think it's Shutter. Anyways, it's identical. I guess that picture was made because of this. In that movie, you guys can go look it up. Shutter. When I'm finished with this video, I'll see if I can pull up on YouTube a trailer on YouTube so you guys can see for yourself what I'm talking about. But in this movie, this guy, he and his friends did some bad things to this Japanese girl, and she died, and her spirit attached herself onto him, and she was constantly sitting on his shoulders, constantly. Like, he would always have this problem with his neck. He would always be rubbing his neck, and he'd be rubbing his shoulders, because like he always felt like there was a weight on his neck and his shoulders. And it really was a weight on his neck and his shoulders, because it was the Japanese young lady that they had murdered sitting on him. And in that movie, he was supposed to be protecting her, but instead he allowed his friends to do the worst of the worst. You guys can go check it out. It's an old movie. I think it's the actor is Casey from Dawson's Creek. I think that's who the actor is in that. But again, I'll put up the trailer later so you guys can see. Let's continue.
You believe that there are ghosts and ghouls constantly around us that can, under certain circumstances, be caught on camera? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag #RearTopic, and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. And now, to the next topic. Number 14. Cape Scott, time travel. This photograph was taken in Canada more than 100 years ago, and it shows a group of men, women and children sat on the side of a hill in the wilderness. It first came to prominence in a 1974 book called The Great Cape Scott Story. And while it looks like many other images from the time, eagle-eyed observers have noticed someone that shouldn't be there. Known as the Surfer Man, one of the people sat in a prominent position to the left of the image. Doesn't look like he belongs in 1917. In fact, he would look far more at home in the 21st century. He's wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and has a hipster-style haircut, which many believe proves that he must have been a time traveler. These items of clothing weren't commonplace at the time, although they did exist. So it's possible that he just happened to be 100 years ahead of his time, although it's unlikely. What are your thoughts? Is this proof that one day time travel will become possible? And when it does, people will choose to give up a life on the waves for the chance to join settlers in Canada? Or is it just a coincidence?
It's a Photoshop. That's what it is.
Stefan Michalak UFO encounter. In 1967, a man called Stefan Michalak was searching for quartz and silver in the woods around
sometimes
in Canada when he found a treasure far more valuable, what appeared to be a UFO. According to stories from the time, he touched a flying saucer that looked like it had come straight from a movie set and was burned by the extreme heat it was emitting. After reporting it, the US Air Force and other governmental organizations arrived to take the object away, but they all refused to explain to him what it was that he had found. It became a legend in Manitoba, and people continue to return to the site to see if anything else has decided to land there.
Why
it's
would you
widely
touch
believed that
it?
something did truly happen that day, but whether it was an extraterrestrial UFO or an experimental Air Force jet, no one is entirely sure. Falcon Lake is now the location for a yearly UFO Hunter Festival and draws people from around the world. Could they one day be the next to encounter visitors from another world? Or have they fallen for an elaborate hoax that's more than 5 decades in the making?
UFO, plain and simple, okay?
The Cooper photograph.
Why would he touch it?
In
I have no
1959,
clue.
the Cooper family moved into their new home
Not
in
have been
Texas,
touching it.
and they were excited because they'd managed to buy it for a bargain price. Previous owners were keen to sell it and move elsewhere, and the Coopers thought they had just been lucky. Little did they know that their new home had been the site of several paranormal events over the previous few years, and they were just about to experience one of their own. They were celebrating their successful move on their first full night there, and the father took a photo of the family, including the mum, the 2 kids, and the grandmother, while they were sitting at the dinner table.
What the hell is on the right hand side of that?
They remember sensing an unusual cold chill, but thought nothing of it, as they knew that each house comes with its own strange drafts and creaks. A few weeks later, however, when the photo was developed, they made a frightening discovery. As you can see to the left of the family, there's a strange figure photobombing their family portrait. Some think it's a body falling to the ground, while others think it's hanging from the ceiling by its feet and trying to take something from the table. It's definitely human-like in appearance, with an unrecognizable face. There was no one else in the house at the time the image was taken, and the family went to lengths to prove that there were no other images of people in the other photographs that were developed at the same time. So it would have been impossible for the figure to have been a mistake in the development process. So who is this mysterious person they caught on film? Is it a ghost of a former resident, or perhaps even one that followed the Coopers to their new house? What do you think, and how would you explain what it is, if it isn't a ghost? Number 11.
These houses always have things
Raynham
onto
Hall
it.
in England is an ancient stately home in the county of Norfolk and
Pray
has
on
a
your
long history
home
of
when you get it
association
here.
with supernatural visitors. It's said
Get
to
a
be where the
priest
brown
come
lady
and
haunts
pray
the
over
hallways,
your
who's
home.
believed to be the ghost of
Chase
Lady
the
Dorothy
spirits away.
Walpole, who lived in the building in the 17th century. She was part of an esteemed family, and her brother would become Prime Minister of the country. Lady Dorothy fell in love with a man who her family forbade her from marrying, and a series of misdeeds
I'm gonna tell you
after that
this.
led
Painters back in those days, they were awesome. They were, I mean, their artwork was amazing.
her being locked in one of the rooms at the mansion. She died in 1726.
Look at that.
with
That
the official
artwork
cause
is
of death
amazing,
being recorded
guys.
as smallpox. Many believe she was murdered though, and that the illness was just used as a cover-up. And this is
Anything's
supposedly the
possible.
reason why her spirit was trapped in this plane of existence, and why her presence is often felt
See?
throughout the building
Amazing,
and its
amazing
grounds. It's not just visitors'
artsmanship.
words you have to take for this story though, because Raynham Hall is where one of the most famous ghost pictures of all time was taken. The photographer was taking an interest in the architecture of the site, but as he walked around he saw a strange shape hovering on the stairs. He took the photo as fast as he could, and to his astonishment, when he had the film developed, he found that he had perfectly captured the apparition. Number 10. The isolator. Scientists and inventors throughout history have created strange
like my shirt
devices
has
that are intended
ants.
to help, heal, and improve our lives. But there's perhaps none as strange as the isolator. It was developed by Hugo Gernsback in 1925 and was a helmet designed to help those who had difficulty with concentrating. In a lot of ways, it's trying to do the same thing as noise-cancelling headphones.
There's so many reasons I could see this not working out. I can see so many problems with this. So many problems with this. How do you breathe? Okay, I'm guessing that the little long thing connected to the nose piece is where the oxygen goes in. But if you're supposed to be wearing this to help you concentrate, I don't think it's gonna do a good job. Because if this was on my head to help me concentrate, the only thing that I'm gonna be thinking about is, please get this thing off my head. Please get this thing off my head. I can't breathe. I'm feeling claustrophobic. Please get it off my head. Please get it off my head. This is what I would be thinking constantly. Like, why? Look at it. Look, honestly, guys, look at this. 2 little peepholes, a metal object. I don't know what that bottom piece is. Right, that's right here. I don't know what that is. Is that for you to breathe out? So the carbon dioxide will escape. Holy shit. What would people invent next?
These days, and was made up of a wooden helmet that the user would wear.
Oh yeah, it is
This
oxygen.
would block them from being able to hear or see anything that they weren't meant to. And the idea was that it would prevent irrelevant events from distracting the wearer. The inventor claimed that noise was reduced.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine doing exams in this? I would get every single answer wrong. Because on every single answer, I go, please take this off of me. I can't breathe. I'm claustrophobic. I can't think straight. I'm not passing this test. Absolutely no way. Absolutely no way that somebody could concentrate with that on their head.
And the small glass spy hole that let the user look outside offered such a restricted view that it would be impossible to get distracted by looking around. Of course, this contraption was completely impractical and never took off. But you can't help but think that if you were alive in modern times, you would have been able to develop a much more effective version and could have been the precursor to methods of helping people to concentrate that are still used to this
Yeah.
day. Number
Sorry about
9.
that.
Rothschild Illuminati Party. The Rothschilds are credited with inventing a system of banking that's used
Is that a
worldwide,
moose egg?
and as such became an incredibly wealthy and influential family.
You, she looks
They
like
owned
Beyonce.
numerous mansions, works of art, and other valuable objects. And this next image was taken at a party that was held at one of their properties called Chateau Ferrières in 1972. All of the wealthy locals were invited, and there was a strict dress code. The invitations could apparently only be read in a mirror. And Marie-Helene, the Rothschild
Okay, so how many of you are thinking cult? Because I'm thinking cult. A moose head?
member
Definitely
who was organising
thinking
the event
cult.
wanted to make sure something unlike anyone had ever seen before. She was, as you'd expect, the star of the show and was wearing an animal head that many people thought was shedding tears of diamonds, a sign that's meant to represent Satan. It wasn't just her
You
who
think?
exhibited her vast wealth, however, and there are several other unexpected things going on. Salvador Dali is seen with an unusual moustache, and Audrey Hepburn appears to be there and locked inside a birdcage. While at first glance these images appear to show how the other half live, but the imagery and acts that are taking place would suggest something far darker is taking place here. Are they practicing black magic or occult rituals? And if so, what
Both.
influence will that play in the world
Probably
financial
both,
markets
actually.
if they are a success? Number 8.
Probably both.
The Amityville Ghost Boy photo. The Amityville house is renowned for its spooky happenings, which is why the infamous horror movie
I don't know how much of you ever watched Amityville, but apparently this house really is haunted, and every single person that moved into this house had accidents or was possessed, killed their family members. Apparently this house This Amityville house was a house where a gruesome murder take place, where this man, I don't know what happened to him, if he got possessed or whatever the case may be, but he came home with a shotgun, or he came home and he went down in the basement, got a shotgun, came up, shot his wife. I can't remember who he shot first, if he shot his wife or if he shot his children first, but whoever he shot first, yeah, he shot the wife first. Then the girl told her little brother to run and go hide, and he did. And the father went into the room, shot the two boys that were laying in bed, went into another room, shot the daughter, and then he couldn't find the youngest boy. So he went around the house looking for him, and then he eventually did find him, and he shot him too. It's a very tragic story. You guys can look it up on Google. You know, Google has everything. And there are many movies about this tragedy that happened in this house. If I have said it incorrectly, forgive me, but you can go on Google and research it if you want. But there's a lot that goes on with this Amityville house that people, I'm not even sure if it's still standing, because I'm pretty sure people wanted it bulldozed down, wanted it to be torn down. I'm not sure, but you know, it's easy to look up. That's what Google is for. So let's continue.
Was set there, and this photo is just one of many real-world proofs that the stories about the building are true. It was taken in 1976 and appears to show a young boy with white eyes who's looking out from a doorway. It was captured because a team of paranormal investigators were there that night, and they'd installed an automatic camera that would capture an image anytime it sensed movement. Sure enough, this setup worked, and within a couple of days the image of this young boy was captured. But who is the boy? According to the history of the Amityville house, it very well could have been the spirit of a boy called John DeFeo, who had lived in the house before their current owners and died at a young age. Do you believe that this is an apparition, or is there an easier explanation for what you're looking at? Number 7. The cadburysaurus. There are countless tales of monsters and creatures from North American cultures, and it's the ideal place for it.
Nessie!
Not just land-based animals that are believed to live here.
Nessie, is that you? I swear, every single video I play or I react to, I see Nessie. Nessie, you're famous. Guys, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Just 1 second. All right, back, guys. I'm back. Let's continue.
This image shows what is thought to be
Nessie?
cadburysaurus. It's a species of sea serpent that can grow to up to 20 feet long,
Nessie.
with the head of a horse and a body that looks like a muscled eel. There are ridges sticking up from its spine and webbed flippers to allow it to swim.
So
more
Nessie
effectively.
really
This
is
water
real,
creature has
guys.
been a part of the local legends for hundreds of years, and there are at least 300 different eyewitness accounts from people who've been
Nessie!
terrified by the monster.
Loch
Nicknamed
Ness.
Caddy. What do you think it is? Is it a giant sea monster?
Do
that's
they
been
call it
terrorizing
Caddy in
local
other
for all this
places?
time, or is there a simpler explanation? Number 6. Soulway Spaceman. In 1964, a firefighter from Carlisle in the UK took a photograph of his daughter on a sunny day. But the image he recorded would go on to become one of the most famous mysterious photos to have ever been captured. She's pulled a cute pose while holding a jar of flowers, but it's what was caught in the background that has been the subject of speculation. There's a figure dressed all in white and what appears to be a helmet and a visor. To ufologists, it's quite clear that this is in fact a spaceman. And to make things even more mysterious, the firefighter claims that apart from 2 family members who were in his car at the time, he wasn't aware of anyone else in the vicinity, especially not within the viewfinder of the photograph he was taking. Once the image was processed and it became clear something unusual was there, he took it straight to the authorities. They, though, didn't see it as being out of the ordinary, so didn't follow it up. But a local newspaper thought differently and decided to panic. Since then, the so-called Soulway Spaceman has encouraged debate about his actual origin. Was it a visitor from outer space that the photographer simply didn't see when he was taking the shot? Or is the figure something else entirely? We'll probably never know for sure, but what do you think? Number
I have
5.
no idea what I think.
Mummified giant finger. With such a varied history, Egypt is one of the places in the world where a number of surprising and inexplicable discoveries have been made. There's one mystery, though, that had researchers baffled ever since it was revealed in 1988.
Yeah, I want to see this.
And there's yet to be a consensus about what it actually is. A grave robber had been collecting treasures from burial sites when he found this strange object that's shown in these next photos. He contacted a few local experts and businessmen to show off his find, which appears to be a mummified finger. This is no ordinary finger, though, because it was just under 15 inches long. This would mean that the person or creature it had come from would have been more than 16 feet tall. Is this...
Okay, guys. So it's not a mystery that giants once used to be on Earth. A lot of people think it's a myth. But it's not, okay? It's even written in the Bible. Speaking about giants. I can't tell you exactly where in the Bible it talks about it, but pretty sure in the Bible it speaks about giants. So it's not a big mystery. Okay? There were people who were tall. And up to today, there are some people who are really tall. Look at Shaq. Shaq is like, what? 9 feet tall? I think roughly 9 feet tall or 8 feet tall. And there's a man who's actually taller than Shaquille O'Neal. So, it's not a mystery, guys. There were giants before us. So, nothing mysterious about that.
Then evidence of the existence of giants, or perhaps even an Nephilim that have visited Earth. Only a select few people were able to see the finger for themselves, and while the man who'd found it allowed photographs to be taken, he refused to sell it to collectors, even though he was offered a large sum of money for it. What's more, after its reveal in 1988, the grave robber disappeared along with the finger, and no one has seen it since. Tests, therefore, have been impossible, so its true origin has never been determined for certain. What do you think it is? Is it proof of huge human-like creatures visiting the ancient Egyptians, or is it something else entirely? Number 4. The Black Knight Satellite. Satellites have become an integral part of our modern lives, and without them, we wouldn't have access to so many of the technologies that we rely upon. There are now more than 100,000 different man-made satellites orbiting the Earth, including huge amounts of space junk, commercial platforms, and secretive missions that have been put there by world governments. There's one satellite that's a particular mystery, which is usually referred to as the Black Knight Satellite. It's believed to be in a near-polar orbit, and several images have been taken of it over the years. There are claims that it's emitting unusual radio frequencies, and no government had admitted to being responsible for it. Many believe it could actually be an alien satellite that's been put here to monitor human activity on Earth, while NASA claims that what's seen in the pictures is simply a piece of abandoned space trash. From looking at it, what do you think? Is this proof of one of the biggest secrets of our time, or is it nothing significant at all? Number 3.
Go either way.
Photograph. In 1986, researchers discovered a photograph that dated back to the American Civil War, but what it depicted seemed to go against all logic. It shows a group of soldiers stood around what appears to be the carcass of a pterosaur. But how is this possible when the dinosaurs died out more than 65
Listen,
million?
I told people this already, okay? I believe that some dinosaurs are still living up to today. Okay? It's not a far-fetched mystery. Some dinosaurs are still living up to today. For instance, where do you think crocodiles and alligators come from? Their prehistoric family is reptilian. And there are reptiles that are dinosaurs that was shaped in the form of crocodiles and alligators. And these crocs and these gators, they live for a very long time, and they grow exponentially. I think I used that word incorrectly, but anyway, they grow very, 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 very large. Okay, sometimes you get a 20 foot crocodile, 26-foot crocodile. You know what I'm saying? So it's not far-fetched, and I believe there are places on the earth that is inhabited. Is inhabited, and you don't know if these things are still living on these places, guys. So it's, to me, it's not a far-fetched that dinosaurs are still very much on Earth.
Years ago, there are actually two images that show the same thing in a different way, and one of them has been openly known to be a staged image that was created in 2000 as a publicity shot. The origins of the other, however, are more murky. There's no reason to believe that it's a fake, but its implications could be far-ranging. High-profile creationists have used this image to argue that dinosaurs were still alive on the Earth much more recently than...
And also, where do you think eagles came from? Eagles and hawks, they're the largest birds. Well, ostrich is the largest bird, but flying wise, they're the largest birds in the sky. And some of these, the hawks and eagles, are massive. They can pick me up. They could pick up like things much more heavier than their size. They could pick me up. They could pick up a cat. They could pick up a dog. They could pick up foxes. They could pick up it. Listen. So where do you think they got that strength from? Huh? Think about it. Think about it. Okay. Dinosaurs still roam the earth. We just don't know where. There are a lot of places that have not been found on Earth as yet. A lot of forests,
the idea
a lot of islands and stuff.
Is no more than 6,000 years old. Others, of course, think it's just a hoax that was created much more recently.
Everything is a hoax for people.
Real? What do you think?
Everything is, it's staged.
Namibian fairy circles. The Namib Desert in Namibia is covered in strange circular structures, and it's long been a mystery why they form. Images show these strange objects, which look like barren circles within the vegetation across the ground, and they're too perfectly formed to be pure coincidence. For thousands of years, the locals have believed these to be the work of fairies, perhaps the place where they practice their magic, or even where they live. Recent studies have suggested that these are indeed the homes of something, termites, who build their nests underground and only venture so far away from them in search of nutrition.
Oh my God.
This isn't a universally accepted
What if it's spiders? Ugh. Could you imagine just hovering over that and out shoot spiders from all those holes, and millions of spiders comes out? Oh my God, I think I have instant death. I'm telling you, I would have instant death. I do not like spiders. I can stomach a daddy long leg. I even help them now and again, but spiders other than daddy long legs, no. Whatever is making these crop circles or whatever they are, I don't want to know what's going to come out of them.
However, so what do you think these circles are? Could they be proof
weird.
of the existence of magical creatures? Number 1.
Woo.
The ghost of Freddie Jackson. This image was taken in 1919 by an officer of the Royal Air Force called Victor Goddard. It's a group shot of his squadron in the year after the First World War had ended.
So who am I looking at?
Something mysterious. If you look at the person who's fourth from the left on the top row, you'll see the unmistakable shape of a ghostly face. Rather than being an unidentified person, those from the squadron that saw the image knew exactly who this was. A mechanic called Freddie Jackson, who'd been accidentally killed just a few days earlier.
Oh yeah,
in fact,
nice.
His funeral had taken place just a few hours earlier on the day that the photo was taken. So, did the deceased engineer decide that he had to take part in one more group photo before his spirit could be free? Is this really the face of the ghost of their former colleague, or is it a forgery? What do you think? Which of these images did you find to be the scariest? What would you do if you found yourself in one of these?
Alright guys, that's the end of the video. There's a lot of things that we don't understand and a lot of things we can't explain. But that does not mean that they're not real. That does not mean that they're not, amongst us. Such as dinosaurs, aliens, so forth like that. Spirits, all these things can exist. It's not hard. If you have an open mind, you know what I'm talking about. An open-minded person would know that these things can exist, okay, and probably do exist among us. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you want more from Americano, I'm gonna put a link down below so you can see this or see their original video, and I will tag them in my description down below so that you can easily find them on YouTube, and you can go watch some more stuff that they have. And don't forget to like and subscribe to their channel as well. Those of you who haven't already, hit a like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. Please, 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 I'm begging you. Share this video with a friend, with a family friend, with your grandmother, with your grandfather, with your grandmother, grandfather's friends. Just share it, guys. Help me get my subscribers. Help me get my views up. I'm really asking. I'm not even begging. I'm asking. Do you guys want me to beg? Yeah, my knees. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm definitely not gonna do that. I'm sorry. Nope, not gonna happen. Anyways, guys, this is Ché, and I'm out. Have a good one.